Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and as you can see, I'm out at the property. Today is actually June 20th, so it will be later in July that you're actually seeing this video. I gotta say that just so you kind of understand what's going on. Right now is the time that the salmon berries around here are getting ripe. Now I wanted to talk a little bit about salmon berries, and oh yeah, by the way, today they're stripping the roof off of our house, so I thought this would be a good day to get out of the house because it's too noisy to shoot videos there and do something down here. So we were down here yesterday and I noticed quite a few ripe salmon berries, and so I picked a few, and then I took a picture, and some people were really intrigued. A lot of people, especially those closer on the East Coast, because salmon berries are only, they really only grow around our area, the West Coast mostly, Pacific Northwest, but mostly right around our area. And they're different. They're similar to blackberries in texture and slightly in taste. They're not quite as tasty, in my personal opinion, as raspberries and blackberries, or even the red thimbleberries that you'll see around here. The red thimbleberries are more similar to a raspberry in flavor and in texture. Salmon berries are slightly sweet, slightly tart when you get them at just the right point, and that is when they are orange. When they get red, they really start to lose all their flavor. And I've never been crazy about them, but yesterday when I was out here nibbling on some, I thought, you know what? These taste better than I ever remember. And I don't know if it's just because they're, you know, where they're growing, because that can make a difference in flavor. But there's that part of me that's pretty certain it's because, well, they're our own, because they're on our home property. And of course, I love that. So I thought before I get started on picking up, showing some of the area to you and the berries themselves. There's some back in here. I don't think there's a whole lot of ripe ones back here, but there's definitely some down there along the creek. But I thought it would be a good idea to talk about some of the health benefits for those who might be interested, or even if you live around the area close by and you've never really thought much of salmon berries, you might want to know about the health benefits. So salmon berries are, well, here's the interesting thing. I always thought they were called salmon berries because of the color, but they're actually called salmon berries because the tender shoots that come up are often cooked and eaten, and the berries with salmon. Who knew? I mean, I didn't know that anyway. A totally new fact to me. So I thought that was interesting. Nothing to do with the color and appearance of the berries. I thought they kind of represented salmon roe to my, personally. They look a lot like salmon roe. They're very high in manganese. That's the thing that I believe that they're highest in. Now here are some benefits of manganese that you might want to know. So it's really good at regulating your blood sugar. It helps curb those PMS symptoms, ladies. So you know, if you live in our area, in an area that grows salmon berries, and you're got some PMS, go out there and nibble on some salmon berries. I believe that that would also mean that they would be good for people that are more in my stage of life, where you're going through menopause. I typically, if something is good for PMS, it's going to also be good for menopause. But remember, this is the manganese, the benefits of manganese that the berries are high in. Manganese also aids in vitamin absorption, maintains metabolism. So those who are having issues with weight, slow metabolism, whatever, get a lot of manganese in your diet through the source of whole foods such as salmon berries. And it improves digestion. So another thing that the salmon berries are high in is vitamin A, which kind of figures, you know, when you look at the color, it makes sense, which most of us know is really good for eye health. It helps prevent macular degeneration, cataracts, and even glaucoma. And then of course we know, most of us know that vitamin A is also very good for skin. It's anti-aging and helps with psoriasis and other such skin problems like that. And this is taken internally. And some other nutrients that the salmon berries are high in are vitamins C, of course, it's a fruit. Most fruits are high in vitamin C, E, and K, which is really great. Plus we have some other minerals like calcium, magnesium, potassium, and phosphorus. So that's just so cool. I mean, of course, here we go again. I always got to mention this, especially when you have the three together, potassium, magnesium, and calcium all in one. Wow, that's great. We know these three work very well in conjunction with each other, and this is why we need to get our vitamins from whole food sources. So one more thing I want to talk about before I get busy picking the berries is that the leaves can also be used in making tea. So I'm going to be taking some leaves home today and giving that a try. The leaves can also be used to make a poultice that's good at healing burns. And a decoction made from the roots is said to be helpful at reducing labor pains and also to ease various different stomach problems you may have. So just a few little pointers out there, especially for those who already have salmon berries growing in their area. And for those who don't, just some interesting things that you might want to know. And typically you'll find with berries, a lot of these health properties will go all the way across the board. So you'll probably find similar health benefits in blackberries and raspberries and things that maybe you can grow a little bit easier. Now, the interesting thing about salmon berries, I had someone say, hey, yeah, I live in Arizona, can you send me some cuttings? Well, I can pretty much guarantee the salmon berries are not going to do good there. They tend to like more shady areas. You'll find all down in here where it tends to stay shadier, you won't find any blackberries growing, even though blackberries are considered a noxious weed in our area. They're growing out there where it gets sun, but not down in here where it gets little sun. The salmon berries don't like a whole lot of sun, and they tend to like cooler, damp areas. So I don't think you're going to get them to grow in an area like that. I'll show you what the salmonberry plants look like. I did show them in another video. A lot of people were thinking when they saw the plant that it was poison ivy, but it's not. But here's something you got to know, is that I'm wearing long sleeves. It is kind of chilly right now anyway, but salmonberry thorns, though they're not as big as blackberry thorns, they tend to have some kind of chemical on them that when you get scratched by them, even just a little scratch, it always gets infected. And I can go out in blackberries and get tore all up by blackberries and get deeper scratches from those, but you get a few small scratches from salmonberries and you know it. It's definitely more painful than blackberries and not initially from the initial scratch, but later, because it always will get infected. So anyway, I'm going to get busy on these and I'll take you with me. Okay, so right up here are a few. Now here's the other thing about salmonberries that's kind of frustrating, is they don't grow as thick as blackberries do. They're always far more spread out. Now salmonberries, you can get them when they're yellow, and since I'm going to try making some jam out of them, I am going to throw some yellow ones in there. But you want to get them when they're orange, like this color right here. This is starting to get a little bit red. Now they will turn this beautiful red color, and I'll show you that in a bit. However, when they turn that red, they usually have no flavor left in them at all. The flavor's usually gone. They're usually just a little too ripe. But I'll throw some in for color anyway. Let me catch a little video here of so you can see what a red one looks like right on the plant. I should be putting my gloves on too as I start getting deeper into this, because I don't want to get the scratches on me. There's another one right there. Okay, so I was just up there picking some berries. I walked back over here by the truck so I can put the tripod away. So now I'm going to head down and go along that area and walk along there. So far, I'll show you what I got. That's it. Yeah, they're very sparse, but at least I want to get started on picking the salmon berries, hoping that will stimulate more growth. I really would like to try making a batch of salmonberry jam and see how that turns out, because I've never had it, I've never made it, never had enough interest in salmonberries to go out and pick enough of them in the wild. Especially for how sparsely they grow and not being quite as tasty as blackberries, but I hear they make a great jam. So there's some more right there, some red and orange ones. And like I was starting to say, I don't think I finished them. Some of the reason I'll throw some yellow ones in is they're going to be higher in pectin, and that way I don't have to use any pectin when I make my jam, because I don't use pectin anymore. If I can help it, I don't use any. Okay, back to picking. So mostly I'm just shooting this so you can just see. And these red ones just look so beautiful right in here. There's a few more up in there. Again, very sparse. I'm not getting a ton, but there's a creek right down there. You can see in here my bucket. I got a mix of colors. I did throw in some leaves, but yeah, not very much. But I'm hopeful. My plan is to get a cup or two. So I snuck back here. Well, I didn't have to sneak, but back here in this little tiny area back here, a deer and elk trail that doesn't look like it's been used much lately. But there's quite a few berries back in here. I've already picked a few. But I just think it's so pretty. I keep hoping I'll find huckleberries back in here, because usually wherever you find salmonberries, you can find huckleberries. But I see some more salmonberries over there. I'll go get those. So I'm down here at the creek, and you can see there's some salmonberries right there on the other side. And I might try for them. I am wearing my waterproof boots today. Made sure of that. But these ones are just right here. They're really overhanging, but there's no ripe ones. Not even yellow. Well, sort of yellow. But this is too unripe. It's hard as a rock. But you can see a few up there, so I'm going to try to see if I can bend the branches down to get those. And then I'll definitely finish up. I just have to have an excuse to come down here, because this is probably my very favorite part of our property, is right down in here. Love this so much. All right, well, I'm done for now. I got enough here that I can start at least make a trial batch of jam and see what I think of it, and find out if it's worth it. You know what, though? It is kind of worth it, because just being here is so calming and relaxing. Things have been so busy back at the house with the new roof and all the stuff that's going on over there, and trying to keep up on YouTube and skirts, that though I enjoy all these things, it can get pretty stressful, and just coming out here is so calming and peaceful. I love it so much. So even if I have to walk all over the property just to get this amount of berries, it's worth it. So I'm standing here, by the way, in front of our little fire pit that Patrick put together when he was doing some clearing out on the other side of the property, and got some big rocks. So right in the area I was talking about, where I wanted the fire pit for when we have campouts and get-togethers out here. So I'm really excited, because yeah, it's going to be fun. But by the time you see this video, we should have at least had our first one. Anyway, if you're new to our channel and you haven't got to see all our property, it actually has an airplane hangar on it and a little tiny cabin. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and link to the tour I did right up there in the corner, so you can check it out and see more details on what's going on around here. And yeah, so it's just been exciting. We've been waiting for this for a long time, and we've been saving for years, saving up money to be able to just pay cash for something, and this was it. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll keep you up to date on the salmonberry jam, and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.